Hi everyone, welcome back. So today is day 4 of my Halloween tag series, and today I'm going to be using this Halloween Scary Sparkles collection from My Mind's Eye. Now every single one of these papers, let's just have a quick flick through, they all have sparkles all over them. Can you see? Yep. So there's loads and loads and loads of different papers in here. And there's 3 of each design, so let's get cracking. So today I have chosen to use a size 8 tag to start with, and these are the 2 papers I've chosen from the collection. So I've got a sparkly polka dot and some pumpkins, because later on we're going to be actually making a pumpkin embellishment, and I want to cut a few of these little guys out to stick alongside it. So first of all, using the black polka dot paper and the tag, I'm going to draw around the tag on the back of the paper to give me a template, because I want the polka dot to be the entire size of the tag, and being as we'll have double thickness of the tag and the paper, it'll give a better support later on for when we stick the embellishments on. And now of course I've lost my pencil, so I've got to go and find one. Back in a sec. Okay, so I've got my pencil now, so I'm just going to draw around the tag as a template, making sure that I also draw around the circle on the inside, as I don't want to miss that out and get it in the wrong placement later on. Right, so now that we've drawn around that, I'm just going to cut it out with some scissors. So let's make sure they fit together. Yep. Now I'm going to glue them together using some soft matte gel from Prima. And I'm going to paint that on with a brush on the bottom tag and stick the black polka dot paper to it. Now, even though this dries quickly, it does give you about 30 seconds to move it around, get it in place, and make sure you're perfectly happy with it. And if you find that any of your corners are folding up and aren't quite stuck to the edges, you can always just peel that back, like here, add a bit more, and stick it down again. And then you can just wipe off the excess. And then give that a minute or so just to dry off. Okay, so next I'm going to use the smaller of this Creepy Tree chipboard from Blue Fern Studios. I'm going to take this and I'm going to colour it using a distress ink in walnut stain first of all, which is really dark brown. I'm just going to get that all over there. And into all the little cracks. Like that. And that dries really quickly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a Versamark ink pad, and I'm going to go over that again and give it a really good coat, get it really sticky and tacky. And then I'm going to cover it with some ultra thick embossing powder. This one's from Ranger. You can use any ultra thick embossing powder. And then we'll tip off the excess. And then we're going to heat that up using the heat gun. Okay, so now that that's got a good coat of plastic on it, I'm going to use a spray from Lindy's Stamp Gang, and this is in Cowabunga Copper. And I'm going to add a few squirts straight on the top, like this. And then I'm going to heat that straight back up with the heat gun. And then what that will do is the plastic will actually absorb the mica and it'll go inside. So here we go. Now that's going to be really hot now because the plastic's melted. And so as it melts, that's when it absorbs all the mica. Ouch. Be careful there. And you are left with beautiful shiny bits inside your embossing powder. Now you can actually do this in different layers, which I'll show you in another tutorial. So you can put one colour down and then put another colour down and make it look like the colours are floating around with each other. It's really fun. So that's that. And then while that's cooling down, I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to cut a few of the little pumpkins out. Now we're going to make our own big pumpkin. So I'm just going to cut 3 or 4 of these little ones out. Right, so now we're going to make our pumpkin embellishment, and to do that I'm using a mould, and this is from Katie Sue Designs. I got this from Amazon, and these are craft and cake moulds. And so we've got our pumpkin shape, and then we've also got different faces around the edge of the mould that we can make the face up with. And inside that I'm going to be using some paper clay from Prima. So let's unwrap that. Take out our mould. So you only need a small bit of this clay. I'm going to take a pinch and work it so that it's nice and pliable. And any bits that you've got left over, you can just pop back into the packets to save for next time. This is a really good air dry clay, and it dries quite quickly and it holds all the detail really well. Right, so now that we've got a nice squashy bit, I'm going to push that into the mould and spread it out. And because this paper clay is really light, it's not overly heavy on your cards or tags or whatever you're going to add it to. It's a really, really light way of making an embellishment. And that was a perfect amount. Okay, so we'll flatten the back off so that it adheres to the tag better. And then we'll choose the bits to have the face. Sorry, we'll choose which bits of the face we want. So I quite like the one with the pointy teeth. wherever that one's gone, down there. So I'm going to put a little sausage of that in there. And so now when you've got too much, you can literally just put it across and push out across the excess with your finger. There you go. And then we'll have a little triangle nose. And again, push it right in and just wipe off the excess. And then for the eyes, which eyes shall we have? I like the look of these. I have these eyes. That wasn't quite enough. Now, I normally leave this to set in the mould for about 5 to 10 minutes before I try to push it out. And you can push it out straight away, but I think if you leave it to set a little bit, it holds the shape and keeps the detail better than it would do if you were to take it straight out. Okay, so I've left that to set for a little while, so let's pop it out now. And you can just roll it until it pops out. And there you go. And you can see that that's retained all the detail from the mould. So let's pop the eyes out. And the mouth. And the nose. Okay, now to paint the pumpkin, I'm going to be using these two paints from Prima. They're Art Alchemy acrylic paints, and this one's green olive and this one is fresh orange. Now because these are acrylic, these dry very, very quickly as well, and they've got a lovely metallic sheen to them. Top off. Oh, and this one's stuck. Oh, it's okay. We've done it. So grab a brush, and two brushes, because I want a fine detail brush for the stalk. And we'll use this bit off the top actually. And we're just going to cover pumpkin in the orange. Now you're probably going to need 2 coats to completely cover this. Depends what kind of look you want. If you like it quite translucent, then 1 coat would do. I want it pretty opaque, so I'm going to give it 2 coats. There's that for the orange, and while that dries off a little bit, I'll just apply the olive green to the stalk. There we go. And as that dries so quickly, I mean, it's like, you know, nearly dry now, I'm going to go straight back over with another coat of the orange. I'm going to try and get it to settle in the cracks a little bit. If it doesn't matter. No, the green doesn't really need another coat. there we go, I'm just going to leave that to dry. Okay, now for the mouth, eyes and nose, I'm going to use Silk's acrylic glaze in black ice, and I'm going to take that really fine detail brush to apply that. And this is slightly glittery, it's really pretty. I'm just going to do the pupils. And the nose. Let's pick the nose up and do it actually because it's quite fiddly. You have to be careful though until it's totally set that you don't bend it out of shape while you're holding it. I'm also going to do the edges of this because you'll be able to see them. There we go. And then the mouth, and I'm going to leave the teeth. So I'm going to go around the teeth and leave them white. And then paint the rest of the mouth black. So I'll do that first to mark them off. There we go. If you do happen to get any on the teeth because it jumps around on your hand, or you haven't got a steady hand with a brush, you can always go back over the teeth with a white acrylic paint. I'm going to leave that to dry before I go around the edges because I want to tip it to the side. Okay, so now we're going to start putting everything together, and first of all I'm just going to go around the edge of the entire tag with some of the Tim Holtz Distress Stain in Black Soot. Just make that a little bit aged. There we go. That's that one. And then also with the little pumpkins that I cut out earlier, I'm just going to lightly go around the edge of those as well. Only a tiny bit. Just makes them stand out a little bit more. And then the really tiny one. There we go. Now I'm going to start putting all the pieces together. So first of all we'll glue the face onto the pumpkin, and I'm going to use Art Basics 3D matte gel for that. And I'll use a palette knife to glue the bits on. I'm just going to dab it on the back. And stick those in place. And there we go. Now I'll do the nose. And then the eyes. There we go, he looks suitably spooky now. Okay, so we'll start attaching everything together. And I'm going to continue using the 3D matte gel. And first of all, I'm going to attach the tree chipboard. You don't have to worry about getting the glue all over the little fiddly bits and pieces of the branches. Just dab it on in certain places, and as long as the majority of the trunk is covered, it will stick fine. And some of the branches are going to be hanging off the edge anyway, and then if any glue seeps out, you can just go around afterwards with your palette knife and clean it up. So I'm going to push him down, and I'm just going to hold it down for a minute. And then while I'm holding it in place, we'll go and clean that glue up. I mean, it does dry clear anyway, so you don't really have to worry about it. But if you don't like to see it, like I don't, then you can go and clean it up. I mean, there are some bits that you won't be able to get into because the branches are so fiddly. But that's okay, as I said, it's going to dry clear. Really, don't worry about it. And there's one more bit there. Okay, so now that's stuck in place, and then he's going to go there, I think. And we'll just work out the placement of the others. These two at the front. Him there. Yep, okay, so now I'm going to start adding these. And just pop him down. There we go, and we'll just leave those to set before I start adding anything else. Okay, so that's how it looks so far, now that these have dried. So to finish this off, I'm going to use some bits of floristry moss and glue those around the bottom of the pumpkins. Just rip them up and add some little bits. And then I might possibly add some around the branches of the trees as well. And I'm going to use some soft matte gel in this little precise nozzle. And now the last thing I'm going to add is from this chipboard sheet, which again is my mind's eye, but this is the Lost and Found Halloween chipboard elements sheet, and there's 13 pieces on here. And I'm going to take one of the sentiments. I think these are self-adhesive again, yeah. Now I'm going to use this one that says Jack-o'-lanterns. And I'm going to pop it across the top of the tree. Try and centre it. I'm going to pop that on there. And then using a little detail brush and some of the black soot distress stain, I'm just going to go around the edge and darken that up a little bit, just to make it stand out a little bit more. You don't have to be precise with this at all. Okay, and then lastly I'm going to use some Tim Holtz Ideology, and what's this called? It's jute string, so that'll look pretty nice. So I'm going to use that to tie on the top, so on the end. We'll put a couple of pieces through there. And there we have it. So there's the finished tag. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, if you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel down below. And I'll be back tomorrow again for day 5. Thank you for watching. Bye.